The I'm Not Jimo Foundation stands for truth and for transformation, for transparency and for tenacity, and that's what it represents over time. And not to forget, the founder and the CEO of the I'm Not Jimo Foundation. I am Stanisiba Okoro, the Lagos State and the Edo State Volunteer Coordinator for the I'm Not Jimo Foundation. The I'm Not Jimo Foundation stands for truth and for transformation, for transparency and for tenacity, and that's what it represents over time. And not to forget, the founder and the CEO of the I'm Not Jimo Foundation serve as voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, power to the powerless, and also liberation to those lagging behind in their walks of life. I've been on Abdicare Jimo. I've uplifted so many rural communities across Nigeria and also all over through financial empowerment programs, education empowerment programs, and also funding the less privileged, and so many more. Long live the founder and the CEO of the Amino Jimo Foundation, Amino Abike Jimo. Thank you. Thank you.
Looking for a way to make a difference? Join the Amina Jimo Foundation. We are an international organization, humanitarian at heart, with a focus on life issues. Let's make a fresh start. From empowering communities to fostering development, we are dedicated to making a positive impact, building boreholes for clean water for all.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amina Jimo Show at the Amina Jimo Foundation. We're waiting for the guest speaker to join us. I hope everybody's doing well today. I'm doing well. And if you're here, kindly put on your notification button so that next time when we're here, you'll be notified when we get here. If you've not already subscribed, do you mind clicking on that notification button to subscribe to the YouTube channel? So that way you can get more impactful and lots of things. I believe the guest speaker is here. Okay. Here we go. All right. Welcome to the Amina Jimo Foundation and Amina Jimo Show. Tonight we have a very important guest with us, and I'll go ahead and have Walter introduce himself.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening from anywhere part of the world, being Africa, being North America, being United Kingdom. I think that's good evening. My name is Walter. I'm an environmental engineer based here in the United States in the energy industry, and also a licensed financial professional as well, helping families create generational wealth and also small businesses as well. And I also serve on different boards for non-governmental organizations where we've helped a lot of people improve their financial portfolio and also create generational wealth for the future generations to come. And yeah, like I said, apart from that, I'm also in the energy industry and an environmental engineer in the oil and gas.
Welcome to the show. We're glad to have you tonight. So for our viewers, just out of curiosity, with everything going on right now in the world, what would you do if you only have a 9-to-5 job and you don't know where your next meal is coming from? I'm just curious to find out about that. Are there other ways that you find money, or do you just depend on the paycheck? Do let me know in the comment section, because I really want you to think about it. That's why we're having this show tonight. Are there people who only depend on the 9-to-5 jobs? Do you ever think about what can I fall back on? Do let me know in the comment section if there's anything that you have that would help you with that. I'm just curious about that. Let's talk about it. So we'll go ahead and start with the questions. What are the living benefits of an indexed universal life IUL policy?
Oh, talking about benefits, I think I will delve more on. There are a lot of benefits. It has 64 benefits pretty much, but for the time constraints, we're going to focus on living benefits, and pretty much that's I will just focus on those three major ones: living benefits, the terminal, the chronic, and critical living benefits. And And this also boils down to the question you asked: what will you do if you stop working, in your opening monologue? And also, what are the plans you have for your families and the future generations to come, right? So, in terms of the benefits, like we have the critical benefits. These are the benefits. God forbid we work so hard. We are very working. People work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, but I don't know what plans we have for old age, retirement, and what if you're working so hard and your critical condition, God forbid, you tend to have cancer, stroke, heart attack, or an accident, and you can't go to work, like you said, what plans do you have? And that's what it covers pretty much. And you want to prepare for something like that, unforeseen circumstances like that, as critical. And that's one of the benefits. Then the chronic, we're talking about your old age. We're going to work, we're going to live to 80, 90, 100, even more than that. We pray to live long to see our children. But one question comes to mind: what happens when, God forbid, or something happens in the future and you can do 2 out of 6? Maybe you're used to walking every time, used to feeding yourself. You don't want to. We don't want to send our old people to old. We take people to nursing homes. We want to grow old in your house, and that's one benefit, and that's what that chronic coverage covers for you if you tend to be old. Then what about your terminal? Terminal doesn't mean you have to pass away. You have to live to enjoy your benefits, and that's one of the terminal benefit, like the riders we're talking about, where you're alive, you're still here and laddie, and you can still get full percent of your whatever you've worked for years. So you get to enjoy your sweat, your hard work, your labor, while you're still treating yourself, while you age gracefully until the Lord calls you. So those are the three major ones that really impact, especially for our community down here. And that's why the goal of this conversation is to educate people on how they can plan for the future and not to wait until unforeseen circumstances occur to to be proactive. So we want to be proactive now, not reactive, pretty much.
Okay. So now I do understand that if people do want to know more about these things, there is a calendar, and we're going to pin the calendar down. However, I want to give them more information about this before they can go ahead and book appointments, so that way they can directly speak to you to get to know more about this. Because, like you said, we don't have all day, because it's a lot to tell them about it,
Unpack.
but we're going to make sure that they get all the information that they need over here. The IUL is known as a 7702 tax deferred bucket. How is it best leverage for generational wealth compared to 529 plan?
Okay. That's a pretty much interesting question. I know many of us all over the world, we have kids. Actually, I'm going to focus on North America. We want our kids to go into college, finish college debt free, pretty much, right? And talking about juxtaposing the 7702 to the 529. Unlike the 529, you want your child to get into any college in any state. Sometimes you have a child that wants to go to an Ivy League school, that is very brilliant, intelligent. So now you have flexibility pretty much, and it's often better than 529 because it offers tax, like you mentioned, tax-free access. It is flexible, tax flexible usage. Also, no penalties, right? That means if I have a child who is very intelligent, I get a full scholarship, I can still use the 7702 account for other things, buckets like getting a property, in, injecting it in your current business. If you have a business, you have more flexibility and it's tax free, and it doesn't reduce your financial eligibility. Unlike the 529, where it's only for college and people are restricted, so you have the restriction there.
Wow. We
That's
just talked about this when
okay.
I did the 529, and I was told you cannot take money out because I
Oh,
did it for my children. And they're like, they have to like give some kind of penalty on it to take money. And I was like, what? So hearing about this is like a whoa. Because it's like putting so much money that you've worked for in somewhere and somebody's telling you cannot touch it because it's for the children's college. And until they go to college, it has to be for college. So this is so interesting hearing about this.
Yes, it's for college, and that's the disadvantage, right? And again, it limits not even just for college. It limits your child's opportunity because, like I said, you could have a super smart child, right, who can get full ride into an Ivy League school, but again, there's a limit. Even if you want to roll it over to a Roth IRA, there's a limit. Remember the Roth, like it's I think it's about cap. You have a cap limit. Unlike this index strategy we are trying to educate our people on utilizing, right? It doesn't have that limit. You have unlimited resource way to design it for your best use. And again, your child could be very, very smart and get into college. And of course, it reduces the eligibility of that child. That's another disadvantage the 529 has, right? Of getting scholarship, right? Also,
Good.
you are fully exposed to market volatility. That's another big drawback. So the volatility, meaning you are in the variable bucket. And that leads me to, I'll talk about that down the road. So variable means the market, it goes a lot with how the market performs, pretty much. So, yeah.
This is like a whoa. Because this is it's so crazy how you put something in somewhere and then it's like you cannot touch it. So you saying that if they have this with someone like you, one can have access to it and it does not have to be for the college.
Yes, the 7702 account is not just for college. It has unlimited capacity. You can use it. Like I said, you have a super smart child, you have tax-free withdrawals, you have flexibility, financial aid, no, not counted in the FAFSA, right? Index floor, no loss. Compare, like I said, you're not exposed to volatility of the market. So you get the floor, right, of 0.75, which is good. Penalty free as well. No
Wow.
penalties if your child doesn't, if you don't use it for college. Unlike the
I-
529 that it has to be for college.
It has to be for college. And it's
Yes.
like you're watching the money there. I mean, I wanted to take it out. Then I looked at it, and then they were telling me the penalty I have to, pay. Then I'm looking at it, so why do I have to withdraw this money now? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like it's labored into that. This is something that was taken out from my pay stuff, and now it's like I have to pay penalty to get it. So I was just
And
like, so this
and
is
again,
really
your
good.
money is sitting there. You're even losing money. You're not even.
You're losing money. Because then
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I just want to withdraw this. And they were like, no, you cannot touch it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, and pretty much why, I know the question will be, our audience, why does this matter for generational wealth? Come think about it. You want to have multi-purpose funding. If your child doesn't attend college, the funds can be redirected to retirement, to business, or pass non-tax free. You can pass it over to that child, right? Also, legacy, you're protecting your legacy. Think about it, right? Not even, there's no expiration. Unlike this, there's no expiration date like that, unlike the other 529 for college. So, right. So I'll give a typical example. So with the 7702, pretty much, you're not just saving for college, you're building a flexible tax financial engine, right? That can support your child's education, protect your legacy, like I said. So would you like a slide pretty much comparing both of them? We can discuss more
Absolutely.
after this. We can talk more about it, a lot of them about this juxtaposing both of them. It's really a good option to try for creating generational, and that's one of the things we hope to talk about.
Okay. I just pinned down your calendar down there on the YouTube. So that way, people who have more questions that we're not able to answer, because I see that people have started sending in questions. People that, whatever we cannot answer, because I do have another program after this, then you can answer it. So it's like a bang bang. It's a busy day for me. So we just have to make sure we answer all the questions. How does this product bypass or avoid probate? Oh, did we lose you? Okay, maybe there was a glitch or something. He'll be back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Oh,
hear you. I didn't
yes.
just see you.
Yes,
Okay,
sorry, little
you're
glitch.
back. All right. So, how does this product bypass or avoid probate,
Very good in question.
wealth transfer to loved ones?
Yes. So, I don't know if most people on this call have know what the word probate is. I don't know if you know what probate is, but
You can
probate,
go ahead and explain to them. So that way,
yeah.
even if
So,
you do know,
so,
they would know it from your own perspective.
so probate is a court system, it's a legal process of validating a will and distributing assets after the passing on of a loved one or after the death of it. That's what, simply put, is a court system here, right? So you want to validate the will and make sure that your assets of the person who passed away is distributed properly, right? So it can probate can be time consuming. That's one disadvantage. So comparing this, juxtaposing this strategy, better strategy comparing to the conventional strategies that we have. Project is time consuming. You don't want to battle with the court for years. That's what people don't want. You don't want to do that. Pretty much. It's costly. All proceedings are part of the public record. That's probate for you. And emotionally draining. Imagine it takes almost 2 years to get the proceed. So the number one thing, for example, in North America, when the loved one passed away, right? The first thing the social security people are familiar with that, the audience, is put in the system all the debts, credit card, bank, all the loan, car note, house is locked up. The loved one cannot get access. So it doesn't bypass probate at all. Unlike this 7702 strategy, which is advisable, it bypasses it. Once the loved one passes away, the court system or probate cannot touch it. So comparing both of them, which of them would you like? Would you like to wait for 2 years? Would you like to go through the emotional drain with the court system back and forth? Or would you like to have your loved one enjoy a peaceful passing on without waiting for GoFundMe? And that is what is common. And that's what next now talk about. GoFundMe, it's very, very common in our community. Why do we have, and that poses the question that I was trying to talk about, right? Because this is more of fighting financial ignorance, right? Why 95% of, let's use America, end up
When you
for
say
WAP?
GoFundMe, you said it's very common. Are you saying people are going to like find other means to get financial help through GoFundMe?
Yes, so I'm
Okay.
tying this to probate because, for example, when a loved one passes away and they can't get access to funds to
Okay,
give
I
them
get
a
it.
befitting burial and they can't even get access to the funds, where do they get funds? You remember Cash App, Bob Lee, right? When he
Yes.
passed away, it's there,
Yes.
it's online, you can check. They had to do a GoFundMe. You're shocked because some of his assets were frozen. Even Bossman, the Black Panther, I'm sure we worked the Black Panther 1 and 2. He had millions. In fact, they froze about almost 80% of his assets. His family couldn't get access to that. And this is why financial education is very, very important, where you put your preparing for your life journey, like I said earlier. And and that brings me to one I want to say. There are financial principles of successful people, right? Number one is make money but never lose money.
Absolutely.
Number two, never forget rule number one, right? So
Make
uh,
money, but never lose money. And then never forget rule number
rule,
one. Great.
yes,
Right. I'm enjoying it.
yes. And another thing, I'm just picking one of two things. They avoid double taxation. Do you know you pay double taxes?
Wow.
Yep. Your bank, I'm sure they send you one check at the end of the. We are approaching the tax season. It's almost December. By January, we'll start getting all those W2s, 1099 from the banks. Inflation is 3%, right?
I don't think
So
nobody wants to hear that part. Nobody wants to hear about the taxes going off.
yeah, but
They
that's one of
want
the
to hear
discussions
about
here, how to
how
avoid
they can
taxes.
reduce it.
Yes, nobody wants to hear that. And and do you know the number one cause of poverty and bankruptcy in the world? All over. Can you guess?
Maybe lack of the understanding that you have to look outside your, not just look at one place. Just like I said when I started,
Yeah.
like sometimes people will say jack of all trades. You gotta be a jack of all trades sometimes to make sure you live the life that you want. You know. So I believe that's the answer I have for that.
Okay. So critical chronic illness. So why do you think most times when people get critically ill, they exhaust all their savings? They think, oh, I'm saving, I'm working, I'm good. That's the number one cause of poverty.
Well, sometimes I would say people work and it's just like paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
So paycheck to paycheck is like, okay, I just got paid, but it's like I don't have money. So what am I going to do the next minute? It's either I go find more hours, like you said, some people have two jobs and some people have one job. So if you only have one job, then you're left with nothing, and then you start looking for who would help me.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you do have two jobs, that's where you talked about health. Probably you're overworking yourself, and that's where you start getting sick, and then start getting things that should not come on your bucket.
Exactly. So we work so hard, but we don't plan for it. That's what the main aim of this program. Those are the kind of questions. How can I avoid overworking? We're working a lot, but we're not planning, structuring ourselves for retirement, for
It's like
old
you're
age.
working a lot, but then there's nothing to show for it.
Exactly. So how can we? Yeah. So I'm open to people dropping in their questions. If there are any random questions on the chat, you can pick one while I continue talking
Yeah,
about.
somebody said overworking can set in, and someone said, how can one qualify for this product, and which countries in North America are eligible?
So if you're in Canada and in United States, so I don't know if they can respond. So they can set up a meeting. If they're in Canada and United States, they can set up a meeting to explain more, and we can educate them more. Well, our goal is to educate our community. Why is it that we, like I said, another question we always ask ourselves, like we work too much, how many days forward could you survive if you stopped working today? We don't think about that.
Wow, that's a good question, because Corona has taught me to live every minute and every second. That's why I said you just have to live in the moment, because I'm not praying for anybody to die, but you just have to act well. That's that question like went whoop. So
Yeah,
one
because
really needs to plan.
yeah, that's so all these questions can be answered. We can have further conversation, like you said.
Okay.
Also, those are the kind of questions because that's planning for generation to pass so that in case you stop working, you have something to fall back on. And that's what most of some of the key pointers were saying, pretty much. Um, I'm sure some of us on this don't know we pay management fees for our portfolios. I know some of us, if I should ask you, madam, now, I know on random on the chat, people can put what portfolios do you have that's preparing you for the life journey? You're preparing for a life journey because life is a journey, right? So does your portfolio have all you need for the journey? Preparing for that
That's a
journey.
good one.
I know some of us will say, oh, we have checking, I'm good. I have a checking account, I have a savings account, I have a 401k, I have a CD, I have Roth, I have stocks, I have crypto. But guess what? Remember the question, what was the first thing we talked about? What is rule number one? Make money, never lose money. Rule number two, never forget rule number one.
Yeah.
That's why all those are going with the wave. And that leads me to the next thing I want to talk about. There are three ways globally we help ourselves, we grow cash to prepare ourselves. There's a fixed, there's a variable, and there's an indexed. The fixed is your bank, checking account, savings account, CDs. You have the variable is what we are always excited. Tomorrow you wake up, the market is good. We are excited. All my stuffs are good. Then tomorrow you lose 40% or 80% of that. Do you want to be gambling? That's gambling. Yeah,
Yes.
it's like playing tete.
I don't
Like
think anybody is ready to play Tete during Trump.
I'm
Inule.
not gonna I'm not gonna go into
Ready
that.
and happy. Nobody wants to play Tete. Even
Yeah.
Nigeria, nobody's playing Tete. Someone
So
also said, I really like
or do
this
you want to
program.
be
Very interesting. And
what?
then he said, how can you make your money to work for you?
By 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 putting your portfolio, getting a portfolio in the place where you don't lose money. Remember, make following those rules. Rule number one, make money, never lose money. Rule number two, remember what rule number one. That's what I'm talking about. How to grow your money options. Having your portfolio in the index. and that's where you don't lose money. So you don't want to be in the fixed, you don't want to be in the variable, you want to be in the index. Where the market, like you said, goes down, you're smiling. While others are making negative, you are in the positive. So if you want to learn more about that, you can, like you said, I think she said earlier.
I actually pinned it.
Yeah, so
calendar.
schedule a calendar with me, look at my, and we can talk more. And the lady that I don't know who asked about location, like I said, I think Canada and the United States.
Yeah, I think 2 people asked location. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the United States.
So the calendar is right there. So you don't even have to call AJF. You can just click on the calendar, but we'll put it on all the platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and we'll also pin it later on again to YouTube, because I believe all those live chats that they're having right now, it goes off after the show. Only what day right after the show again is what we see. So I mean, from experience, that's what I've noticed. So we will definitely pin the calendar again. But right now, whoever is here that needs to talk to Walter, you can go right ahead, click on that calendar and book your appointment at your convenience, and he will definitely get you all the answers that you have. Is there any other thing that you need to know about this?
Yes, I'm just going with with the questions and answering what other questions you have, and I'm adding some pointers as I go.
Okay. Okay. You can go ahead and tell us something more that you believe that they do.
Okay, so like I said, we pay. Sometimes we have this portfolio. So let me moving along. I know most of us have. There are 2 buckets where how do you grow your money? And someone asked that question. I'm going to reiterate: being in the index and also being in the index. Like I say, I'll still repeat this: being in the index.
Okay, before you repeat it, it's 2 questions that are kind of similar. So I want to make sure I give it to you so you're not repeating yourself. Another person also said, how do you invest without losing the money? So I know, how do you make your money? How do you not lose it? So that we can add that together.
So yeah, so if you are located, like I said, here, or you have family located here in North America, like I said, any of those 2 countries, we can schedule time and I can explain more. So yeah, like I said, number 1, make sure your money is in the index and it's protection, right? You have a protection plan and it's an index. So it's a 2-in-1 plan. So remember, it's a strategy we're talking about. How do you strategize? You want to avoid taxes, you want to grow your money, compound interest, and also pass it on. You want to avoid probate. Remember those things, those are the things. That's why we're hitting on probate. And if you have kids, you don't lose money. Don't put it in the 529. You don't lose money. So, like again, we can talk buttress more on other strategies when you schedule a one-on-one with me. Yeah, but
somebody just asked if kids could have it. Then you talk about kids. Definitely.
As soon as 15 days old. 15 days old.
Wow.
Yes. For college, you're setting them for life, for college. As that child turns 18, oh my goodness,
that's a bill right there.
That's $1 million baby. That's what we call it. Yes.
That's good. It's always good to invest in your kids, because then when you even start teaching them from that age, they grow up to know that, okay, this is how the legacy has to continue this way.
I think we should even, I think for you, I know now you mentioned you didn't know, so we can talk more about, even because I didn't know your kids had 5 to 9. That's
they impressive. Do. Now I feel like opening it because I'm just looking at it like this. And I was like, there was a day I was so and I almost took the penalty to take that money out because
oh my goodness, I can imagine.
Then I looked at the penalty and I was like, how would I work so hard? They took this out of my pay stub, and now I have to pay penalty for God knows.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. So
and the sad thing about it is, the day I was signing up for these things, I believe he didn't really give me more information because it was at work. So at work, you just come out. They schedule you guys during maybe breaks and things like that. So it was like a bang, bang, bang. So I wish I kind of booked another time. But with that mindset I had at that point, I just wanted to do it because I heard, kids, college, and my own thinking was, okay, I don't have anybody to pay for them for college. I have to start, saving my own money to get them in. So I was not having this mindset of people saying, oh, they will go and look for financial aid or whatever, like you just talked about. So because that's how I was raised to think about tomorrow. So I was like, okay, just so what I had to do was reduce that money. Because then I was like, what? This is just going off and we cannot take it. Even the kids asked me, they're like, can we touch our money? I was like, I think I would call so you can find out yourself. You know, they're like, but it's for us. I'm like, yeah, but they said it's for college. So I'm looking at it and then come to realize that even when they are at that age, it has to just be for college. Like,
That's a drawback of the 529. So that's why we can look at more strategies for you to it's never too late. And that's one thing.
absolutely, I'm interested.
That's one thing. No, I'm gonna read this quote um by Kobe. The biggest mistake we make is life is we think we have time. Just
Absolutely.
the best time should be yesterday. That's what I would say. Yesterday. Yesterday to have to set up. And again, I'm sure there are different products. So like I'm talking about, let's go to another thing that people don't know. Management fee. Most of us we have retirement buckets. Most of us already have 401k, I have 401k, I have Rod. But do you know you pay management fees? Have you heard of management fees
Wow,
before?
I never even thought about that.
Wow, interesting. So every year, so remember the rule. Rule number one, make money, never lose money. Rule number two, never forget rule number one, right? Every year we pay 2% for 401k. So that means either the market does well, does well. So let's say you work for one of the finance fidelity, which is common for 401k, right? They don't care whether you make money, you don't make money. Every year you pay 2%. So let's say I give you $100,000 at the beginning of the year. Generally, your 401k started with that. At the end of the year, you have to pay me 2% of that. So let's say the market goes down and you up to 70,000. They won't say, hey, yeah, the market went down. You're gonna pay me. So who is losing? You losing.
Absolutely.
So where do you want to be where you don't lose money? The index strategies, and that's what we're preaching for our community. Not just even the growth, is the living benefits. Like I mentioned earlier, what plans do you have if you stop working today? Like we said, what income replacement do you have, or when you grow old? Those are the benefits. This cancer, heart attack, stroke. We're working, you can be driving. There are no safe drivers out there.
No.
Think about it. Why do we pay for car insurance? You protect your car, right?
Yes.
But you don't get that money back if
Oh
you move
no.
from a different career. But why can't we have something to protect ourselves? Some people even some people even have phone insurance, but they don't have
Oh
something for their
yeah.
health.
You have it until when you want to use it before they give you the trouble of how did I get
I
myself
was
here?
iPhone came. I was at the conference. And remember I told you I was at this all and gas. Let me give you a simple example. I had a friend. He just bought an iPhone and he bought. So I just told him, what do you have? What plans do you have? He bought insurance on that iPhone, but it was later I had to educate him down. I sat him down. That's so we just got speaking 2 days ago, and he was able to understand he needs to prepare. Most people don't. We pay a lot on material things and we don't plan for the future
That's
for our
true.
kids, for our generation. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have? Let
So
me allow. You have more questions on your end?
yeah. So I believe somebody is still asking what is 529 and what is 41K.
Yeah, we will explain. Yeah, if they are based in the I don't know where the location they are, but I will still buttress on that. So the 529, it's a government bucket for education, pretty much for schools, for kids. So it's almost like you're sharing the government, you're paying your child for success.
Like a tax advantage savings, right?
It's like they tell you it's like tax, but remember you lose money there because you're in the variable bucket and is restricted. So juxtaposing the 529 and the 401k, right? The 529 plan is a college fund. Simply put, you lose money there. Remember, you don't want to lose money. You want to be where in your 770 account, following that rule. So if you have that rule in your mind, make money. And also, it's you might have a smart child. Yeah, then let me answer the question of the 401k. 401k is a retirement plan in the US. Yeah. So if you're based in the US and you want to talk more about that, we can schedule an appointment to explain more. The 401k is just a retirement plan. However, you lose money there. So let me reiterate myself. There are three ways the growing money. The fixed is your bank account. Your seed is your savings. It's a fixed line. It's not going. It rarely goes up. It doesn't go down unless you spend out of the account, right? That's your bank account, your savings. Then your variable is your market. That today the price is up. Stock, 401k, Roth IRA, crypto. That's your variable bucket because it goes like this. You can't control it. It's like gambling. You wake up in the morning, you've lost all your money. It can happen. But you want to be in a fixed, which is the index, where people are when it is going down like this, they lock whatever you have your interest, and you still make some interest. So if you want to learn more about that, that's where you should have. Yeah. So I don't know if I answered the question.
Someone said, can I book an appointment now? Or do you have a certain time that you do not answer questions?
No, whatever I put on my calendar is when I have time. So whatever you see there, you can book after this call. Yeah. And if you're based in North America, very good. We can talk more.
How many people can be on the plan?
A lot. So you can have, so this is how it works. The owner, the person who is insured, for example, you want to do for your child will be the insured, you'll be the owner. You pass it to them when you are comfortable because you don't want to show them you are preparing them for future. Maybe when they are done with college, they can buy their first house or their first car, whatever you want to do. So you can have beneficiaries, a lot of beneficiaries, but the owner, yeah, and other benefits, maybe like 3, 2, 3, yeah, and you have dependents, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know you talked about probate, and here you're talking about having beneficiaries. So, God forbid something happens to the owner. Would you have to go into the probate to sort things out, or would they just go right to the beneficiary?
When anything happens, probate doesn't have anything to do with this account. It's not probate. It's by 100%. Only the company, the beneficiary will call the company, hey, XYZ happened to my loved one, submit the death certificate, and there you go. Nothing like the court system. Federal government doesn't have anything to do with. That's why it's a bypass since the probate. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you said that's great.
I don't know if I'm seeing the question. Oh wow, it's down. I'm just scrolling. I'm just okay.
Huh? Oh, okay, you see the questions. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it because some are repeating the questions. That's why I'm kind of like.
Okay, yeah, say please, this terminology is big. Can you? Okay.
Okay, I think you've already answered that. Do you ever lose money? I believe you answered that before.
Mhm.
All right. So I believe we already pinned Walter's calendar. If you do have more if you do need more information, you can contact Walter. He has
Yeah.
appointments there for people who are asking what time is he available. You can see it on the calendar. You can book it. Whatever you need, he would be answering more questions over there. And if you do have any questions now, we'll take some of your questions. We're here for some few minutes. If not, then we'd like to wrap it up. So, is there any other thing that you feel that they need to know about
The program, the strategy. So I will buttress more on what the solutions are, right?
Okay.
What other solutions? So it's a 3-in-1 plan, pretty much. Number one, you want to put your family is the bank, which is the strategy. This is for families and for people. Protection, you want to have protection, mean God forbid sickness, critical condition, terminal, maybe the doctor, for example, the doctor pronounces somebody, they have 60 days, one less than 6 months, whatever you have, it's yours. It's called a living benefit. That's why we call it living benefit. It's not a death benefit.
So, at
It's not.
any time, you can pull things out.
It depends on how you structure it. How you structure it. You can structure it. So that's why you create the appointment and we can structure it how you want.
Okay.
So it's not.
So, it
Yeah.
goes with individuality. It does not have
Yes.
to do with a general
Yes.
thing. Okay, I
Yes.
got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So, like I said, the emergency fund is an emergency fund. Why, when you structure it very well, like a retirement fund, we talked about college fund as well, right? Savings. So, and of course, it's an IRC 7702 account. And our living benefit, I'll reiterate again, we have the critical conditions, which is common. if you check the CDC data, even for younger people, cancer is high. Think about it, people don't prepare for that. And that's why you have GoFundMe. People start doing GoFundMe for chemo. How much is chemo? I'm sure we have a lot of health
It's a lot
professionals.
of money.
Yes. So these are the kind of things you don't want to start. No matter what you have in your savings, it's not gonna. You need something to protect you for that. Um, of course, the funeral part. If the person passed away, they don't have to start. Family doesn't have to start doing GoFundMe for funeral. That's what automatically you use. So
Now, it's a lot that you see out there about funerals. It's like, you're like,
yeah,
wow, you know?
yeah. So, and C.S. Lewis has told us, I will read this quote: you can't go back and change the beginning, right? I know some people don't, we haven't heard about it. It's fine, you didn't hear about it back in the day. You can't change what's happened, but you can start where you are and change the ending.
Absolutely. That was a great one. That one was good. That's very true. That's something to really think about. That, okay, forget about the past, and now
Yeah,
is the time to start building. So if you all need that money, if you all need to invest your money in the proper way, you need to contact the experts so that way they can address it and tell you more about the programs. Because, like we said, the time is not limited. The time is, we don't have so much time to give you
yeah,
more information.
yeah,
And like he already stated, you have to do the plan individually to know what it is that he has to sit with you, be it on Zoom, be it in person. He's good with that. Whatever works for two of you, he can come out, or he can do the Zoom and you guys will go from there. Whatever questions you have right now, drop it down. If you do not have any questions, then we would like to wrap it up. And
yeah.
if you also have anything to say before we wrap it up, you can go ahead and say it.
Yeah, I would just say it's not too late, like we said. And how soon should you have done that? Gotten prepare your family for greatness? It should have been yesterday. But we can talk about tomorrow, right? Start where you are now and change the end. That's what I would say. So, and feel free to reach out, schedule a one-on-one, and we can. Yeah.
That's very true. I've seen people going back to school at 80 something. So
Yeah.
it's not too late to make that money. It's not too late to start a brand new life, to start a new beginning, to get everything that you want for your family. I've seen people who were nothing to something
Oh,
because
absolutely.
they have that zeal to continue, and they had the push to say, okay, I need help. I need guidance. Where do I go? How do I start? So that's where we have Walter. You have all those questions, bring it down to Walter, and he will definitely answer your questions. And like we said, we already pinned the calendar. If you cannot find it here, we will continue putting it on all the platforms, on all the Amin Ajimo platforms, the Amin Ajimo Show on Facebook, the Amin Ajimo Foundation, and also on the Instagram.
Yeah.
Or feel free to also contact him directly. I think that will be better because his calendar, like I said, is already pinned. However, we're not saying you cannot contact the Amin Ajimo Foundation, but he's the one that has all the details about what you need to do. He's the best financial guy that can answer that question. So if you're asking me, I would have to refer you back to him. So you might just want to use those calendar. And at the end of this show, like I said, you would find it on all the platforms.
Yeah.
So if he said, yes, the present is very important, I got it now. All right, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're getting it now. So we will wrap it up here. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming to the
Yeah.
Midnight Talk Show on the Amin Ajimo Show, the production of the Amin Ajimo Foundation. Remember, you need to start today. Do not forget that you can always start afresh. Just like Walter said, it's not too late. So, what are you waiting for? Book that appointment so you can get more information that you need. Thank you so much for coming. And I'll be seeing you on the next Amin Ajimo show. And I hope you have a blessed day. And God bless you all.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Edward.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you all for coming tonight. And like I already said, if you have any questions for Walter, do feel free. Walter is on all the Amin Ajmal platforms, on the Amin Ajmal Show on Facebook, and also on Amin Ajmal Foundation, and also he's on the Instagram. And if you do need more information, like I said, contact him. Make sure you click on that calendar and book your appointments with him. If there are anything that you need, find out from him. However, you can always reach out to the Amina Jimo Foundation also. We'll be glad to direct you. Thank you for coming again. And all of you that came tonight, I'll be looking into that. And I hope everybody has a good night. And to the Amina Jimo Foundation volunteer team, I say thank you and I say kudos to you. Thank you for being a great team, because without you, there's no AJF, and without AJF, there's no you. So you know how we do it. I thank you and I'm grateful for your, what would I say, your loyalty. I'm grateful that you all are always out there making sure that everybody is fine, making sure that everybody gets the education that they need. And I know we got a lot of uh, messages. We've been getting lots of messages for years now from lots of people across the world asking to join the Amina Jimo Foundation volunteer team from other countries. When I say from other countries, I know I have a lot of volunteers from Nigeria and South Africa. And I know I'm not going to make mention of some countries that have been, banging us that they need to get in. So we will be reevaluating. We already said we're not taking any volunteers because I feel we have more than enough. However, and I have a great team, so they are always there day and night doing what they need to do. Kudos to them. So I can't trade them for any other person's. I'm sorry. I would always protect my own and talk good about mine. So they're always doing good. So at this moment, I believe we're doing fine. However, with time, those countries that have been pushing about 3 to 4 years now, I know there's one consistent country that has been, saying they need to get in, they need to get in. We will reevaluate. However, I don't want people to just sit down on the platform and say, oh, we're following you. You don't need to follow me if you're not active. I don't believe in um, quantity, I believe in quality. So if you're not going to be doing anything, there's no point being there. I'm sorry. We don't get YouTube money or Facebook money. We're doing this, like I always explain, to give back to the society. So if I'm just there sitting down in the platform and we're not engaging, then there's no point being there. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to be blunt, because I can be very blunt, but I just like to be clear. If you're on a platform, I expect you to be active. I expect you to send in meaningful posts to educate the society, even if you're not coming on the live show to, give people maybe education about something. At least send in meaningful posts or comment. There are sometimes people put things out there that they need advice. You can be there to respond. Or there are sometimes people engage to find out how people's day is going. It's a life issues platform. So, like we talk about everything that has to do with life. So I'm not going to take your time because, like I said, I have another program tonight. So I hope you all have a good one. And again, Team AJF, thank you so much. I do see Abdurazak. I believe Abdurazak was the first one that logged in today, because he said good evening before even four. And Mutiu Isa, Abubakar, who else am I seeing? Queen Eshene. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. Good evening. Let's see. Agororo Kayat. She said, Omo baba mi, Omo lofa majo, Omo abisujoko. Hey, my head is already swelling. I like it when they greet me with my, would I call it, it's not really village stuff, but it's like oriki offer and all that. I like culture. So when I hear all those things, it gingers me sometimes. Oshie, my dear, thank you so much. I'm a love for Majo Mukien, you know. Thank you. Those are my people greeting me. And Abdulrazak said, thank you very much. It's very important, especially at this present time. Absolutely. Wow, this is good to know. Make money, don't lose money. Okay. Thank you, everyone. If I'm not calling your name, I'm sorry. We have to go, and I'll see you on the next Amina Jimo show at the Midnight Talk Show. Thank you, and God bless you, and have a good one. Bye bye.